Welcome back to the Metric Bobber Build, where we're taking this 1980 Honda CB650 and converting it into a full custom bobber. And when it's done, we're going to raffle the bike off. If you want to qualify to win this bike, just go over to patreon.com/motopilot, sign up there, and all the information is there for you. Then I have to say too, this bobber build series is being sponsored by tucker.com. They're supplying most of the parts, which we have a bunch more right here we're going to dig into first. Just to catch up on where we're at, last weekend we had a situation where I was going to modify the back end to have the shocks come up here and line up with the backbone. Not feeling it, gonna scrap it, going to a hardtail. So I ordered a hardtail from Voodoo, and what it is, it's the back half of the bike. So what we're gonna end up doing is cutting the frame here, cutting the frame about right here. This whole back section is gone and a whole new hardtail section is mounted. The great thing about that is it's gonna be much cleaner. You can see how bulky and just busy this is, and it's heavy. So the new hardtail is gonna be lighter. There'll be more room in here for the new battery position and some electronics. It's gonna stretch the bike about 3.5 inches, I believe it is, and it's gonna lower the bike too at the same time. So pretty stoked on that. Fortunately, I was able to get that hardtail shipped out to me like in 2 days. Normally I was being told their lead time is 6 weeks. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do for 6 weeks? Because really that's the foundation of this build. So we're gonna work around that today. What I wanna do today is I wanna get the back wheel off, the front wheel off. I want to get them all stripped down, ready for powder coat. Got a great idea for the color scheme on this bike. I want to get the forks pulled off and get them pulled apart, get the brake off there. You can see this thing looks pretty sad. It needs to be painted and freshened up. Got a new front brake coming for this. This thing is old and tired and bulky, and it has this big line. I want to get rid of that. So I want to pull these apart for powder coating, put in some new seals. One thing you got to remember about a bike this old, this bike's 40 years old, so I'm going to replace all the wheel bearings, the steering stem bearings. Another thing I'm doing too is I'm tracking the weight loss on this bike. So after I cut that back frame off, I'm going to weigh all this and see what it weighs, and then I'll weigh the new hardtail section, so we'll see how much lighter it's getting there. I've already cut off some of this, so I'm going to weigh that today, the shocks and the frame that went up here for the back fender. Let's dig into these boxes and see what came in. One thing that's always cool about these bike builds is the excitement of getting new parts in and checking them out and busting the boxes open. I don't even remember what's in these boxes. I have so much stuff coming in. So, but one thing I want to mention real quick too, if you go to Patreon to sign up to win this bike, you'll also get a full set of speed and strength, head to toe riding gear worth about 810 bucks. Let's dig into some boxes. We'll start with the small ones and work our way up to the big ones. This I obviously bought off of eBay. There's just some things that Tucker just didn't have for this bike because of the year model. So I ordered front and rear wheel bearings for this thing. That'll be nice and fresh. Okay, all these are from Tucker. Oh man, look at that. Woohoo! That's beautiful. Look at those red bolts. I'm going to try to find a home for as many of those as possible. They did have the steering head bearings, so that's what those are. And already these cool little custom washers for the gas tank. Pretty slick. This one's from Tucker also. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here's the new fork seals. Here's some brake pads. It's kind of wild, the back brakes on this is still this type here. Here's a bigger one from Tucker. I think I know what this is. Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool. Look at that gas tank. I went with a smaller gas tank. In the last video I mocked up the gas tank on the bike, and I wasn't really happy with the size of it. It seemed too big. This is the same size tank that I did on my last bobber, my Harley, but this bike's smaller, so it really needs a smaller gas tank, and I wanted something a little more like a peanut tank that's kind of old school. This thing looks so cool. Oh man, look at that gas tank. That's bitchin'. That's exactly what I wanted. It was hard to tell in pictures if it's what I wanted, but I love that tank. We'll fit that on the bike today and see how it looks along with the seat. And then here's a big box from TC Brothers. These guys carry a lot of bobber stuff. I know what this is. Oh yeah. I really wanted this old school ribbed back fender that's kind of rounded. Unlike my last bobber had a flat fender like a Old trailer fender. This fender is sick. Oh yeah, look at that back fender. That is so cool. I'll do a test fit on the bike with this too before I pull the back wheel off and kind of get an idea of how things are looking. Love it. Matter of fact, let's do that right now. And then the seat will sit about like that, right there. And then for the back fender, we're gonna bob it, so it'll probably be, you know, about that length right there, really close to the tire. And we'll have some brackets going down here to the frame. Check out this gas tank, look how thin that is. But it's perfect for the small bars, and I really want that thin, old school style. It's perfect. Just kind of a look at the back fender from the back. It looks sick. Alright, so like I said before, I'm really keeping track of how much weight I'm shaving off this bike. I've got all the weights written down. So these are all the pieces off the rear frame. I'm going to weigh these real quick. Okay, we got 2 of these shocks, so that's 6 pounds just in shocks. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 12 pounds we shaved off. So we'll see how much the new frame weighs and see what the difference is. Alright, we'll start with removing the front brake caliper. Another thing I want to mention too is this is the Speedo. I'm replacing this cable also, along with both throttle cables and the clutch cable. They'll all be new. You don't want a cable to break on you when you're out on your ride. That would just ruin your day. Actually, the brake pads on this thing look pretty good, but we'll still put the new ones on. Now we're going to take off the front wheel. Before I pull off the forks, take a look at how crappy these things look. I mean, there's just 40 years of grunge on these triple clamps. They look very tattered. These will be gone. So these will all be powder coated. This whole front end will look like brand new when I'm done. Obviously, we're going to powder coat the lowers here. All these bolts are old and tired looking. Put all new bolts in this when we're done. Alright, so we got the wheels off. I'm going to run those down to the shop, get the tires stripped off. So so we can get the back wheels powder coated, get some progress going on that, get the forks powder coated. So let's keep moving. So now that I got the tires stripped off the wheels, I gotta break these wheels down a little bit more, get them ready for powder coating. I do have a situation where I can't take this thing fully apart because of this weird axle. It's like it needs to come unscrewed and it's really tight. So I'm gonna work around it and see how far I can get, see if I can at least get this disc off of here, and I'll work on the back wheel and see how far I can get it broken down, because I really want to get these into the powder coater on Monday, get that going. Okay, so I've got the back wheel stripped down really good. That's as far as it can go. The front wheel's a different story. Did not get this axle out of here, which means I can't get this off. So I'm gonna see if they can powder coat around it. The cool thing is I was able to get these parts off the wheels, and the wheels are gonna be like a satin black, but I'm gonna do these parts in like an accent color. I'm not gonna tell you what that color is just yet. I want you to see it when I get it powder coated. Those accent colors will make the bike pop. So I guess the next thing to do is to dig into the forks. You can see here the finish on these forks is really bad. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these forks by taking off this dust seal. There's a clip in here. I will remove that. I will take out this screw in the bottom right there. I'll drain the oil through this little screw right here because I don't have a balance head big enough to take that out. And then once I get that screw out of there, you just pull it and it pops apart. Oh, yeah, I just ended up wearing a bunch of that oil. Lovely, my nice new shirt. Alright, so that was easier than I thought. All I had to do was take the screw out of the bottom here and the forks came right apart. Didn't have to take anything out of here, even though I'm still going to remove the seal out of here and all that so I can powder coat this. So this thing's pretty much ready to go. Pretty grimy in here. There's a rubber seal in here. We'll replace that. These are still in pretty good shape, so I'll probably keep these. Dust cap. Okay, couldn't see it through all the grime, but there is a clip holding the seal in. So let's pop that out. Show it here in a second. Just a little, wow. This clip has seen better days. Alright, well I'll keep messing with that off camera and we'll get her done. Alright guys, that is everything for today. Everything's ready to go to the powder coater. Hopefully when we come back in the next video, I'll have some stuff for you to look at. You'll be able to see the new accent color. Hopefully the hardtail frame has come in by then. It's kind of questionable. I'd love to get started on that chassis. So come back next Tuesday and we'll see what we got. Don't forget, if you want to qualify to win the bike, patreon.com/motopilot, new custom bobber, and a full set of gear from Speed and Strength.